Have you ever found yourself doing something you've done countless times, perhaps for decades, only to realize something subtly different now? Maybe a little twinge you never felt before, or a task that used to be second nature suddenly feels like a monumental effort. It's a quiet, often unsettling truth, but our bodies evolve in ways we don't always anticipate. What was perfectly safe, or even beneficial, in our younger years, can subtly, almost imperceptibly, become a real risk once we cross that milestone of 65. It's not about fear, but about awareness. It's about understanding these natural shifts so we can adapt, make small but significant changes, and continue living vibrantly and safely. Because, frankly, many of us are still doing things out of habit, things that our bodies are now responding to in a whole new, potentially dangerous way without us even realizing it. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 common things, everyday occurrences even, that can suddenly become quite dangerous after you turn 65. Things you might not even realize are changing the way they affect you. Stay with me until the very end, because I'll be sharing a surprising insight that could truly change your perspective on aging gracefully and safely, empowering you to live life to the fullest. Let's dive right into the first thing, something many of us might dismiss as just being a bit clumsy or not paying attention, but which carries a much greater weight after 65, ignoring those seemingly minor falls or even just frequent stumbles. Think about it. In your 30s or 40s, a slip on a wet pavement or a trip over a rug might mean a bruised ego, perhaps a scraped knee, and you'd likely bounce right back within a day or two. You'd probably laugh it off, maybe tell a story about it later, but after 65, that same slip can mean something entirely different. It can mean a broken hip, a fractured wrist, or worse, a concussion that doesn't just go away, but can lead to lasting cognitive issues or even internal bleeding. The stakes are simply higher. Our bones tend to be a little more brittle. Our balance might not be as sharp as it once was, and our bodies just don't recover as quickly. What seems like a small incident can cascade into weeks or months of recovery, loss of independence, and a profound emotional toll. I remember a dear friend who was always so active and spry. In her late 70s, she tripped over her dog's toy in the hallway, something she'd navigated hundreds of times before. She broke her wrist, and while it eventually healed, the fear of falling again lingered. She started to limit her activities, hesitant to go out, even afraid to walk around her own home in the dark. That one seemingly minor fall didn't just impact her physical body. It stole a piece of her confidence and independence, making her world feel much smaller. This isn't about living in fear, but about proactive awareness. So, what can we do? It starts right in our own homes. Take a good look around. Are there throw rugs that could trip you up? Are hallways dimly lit, making it hard to see obstacles? Simple changes like removing loose rugs or adding nightlights can make a huge difference. Think about your footwear, too. Those comfy slippers might be fine for short walks on carpet, but anything with a slippery sole or that doesn't offer good support can be a hazard. Opt for shoes with non-slip soles that fit well and support your feet, beyond your environment. It's about strengthening your body. Incorporating gentle balance exercises into your daily routine can be incredibly beneficial. Something as simple as standing on one leg while you're brushing your teeth, holding onto the counter for support at first, can gradually improve your stability. Tai Chi and specific balance classes offered at community centers are also fantastic. And don't underestimate the power of regular eye exams. Changes in your vision, even slight ones, can significantly impact your depth perception and ability to navigate your surroundings safely. What you can't clearly see, you can easily trip over. Also, have an open conversation with your doctor about all your medications, especially if you're taking multiple prescriptions. Some medications can cause dizziness, lightheadedness, or affect your balance, increasing your risk of falls. It's vital to know if any of your medications might have this side effect. And finally, maintain your muscle strength, especially in your legs and core. You don't need to lift heavy weights. Simple bodyweight exercises, resistance bands, or even walking regularly can help keep your muscles strong and responsive, which is key to preventing falls and recovering quickly if you do stumble. Even if a fall seems minor, don't hide it. Tell your family and your doctor. Understanding why it happened can prevent future, more serious incidents. Taking every stumble seriously is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. And it's the most critical step you can take to maintain your independence and vitality. Now that we've talked about the critical importance of taking every stumble seriously, let's turn our attention to something equally vital, yet often overlooked, and that's how we keep ourselves hydrated. Have you ever noticed that you just don't feel as thirsty as you used to? Even on a warm day or after a bit of activity, it's a very common experience after 65. And it brings us to our second common thing that can suddenly become dangerous, relying on thirst as your only cue for hydration. In our younger years, that strong, undeniable sensation of thirst was usually enough to remind us to grab a glass of water. Our bodies were very efficient at signaling their needs. But as we age, our thirst sensation diminishes. We simply don't feel as parched, even when our bodies are crying out for fluids. On top of that, our kidneys become a bit less efficient at conserving water, and certain medications, which many of us take, can actually act as diuretics, meaning they make us lose fluids faster. The consequences of this can be subtle at first, maybe just a general feeling of being off, a bit sluggish, or a persistent dull headache. But persistent dehydration can quickly escalate into something much more dangerous. It can lead to confusion, dizziness, and a significantly increased risk of falls. Linking back to our first point, it can also cause or worsen kidney issues, contribute to constipation, and even impact your cognitive function, making you feel foggy or less mentally sharp. It's easy to just grab a cup of tea or coffee, thinking it's enough liquid, but those can actually contribute to dehydration, especially if consumed in large quantities. Or perhaps you simply get busy with your day and forget to drink water throughout, because that strong, thirsty signal just isn't there anymore. So, how do we combat this silent threat? The key is proactive hydration. Don't wait until you feel thirsty. Make drinking a regular, scheduled habit throughout your day. A great way to do this is to set reminders on your phone, or simply commit to drinking a glass of water every hour, or with every meal and snack. Keep water visible and accessible. Having a water bottle by your favorite chair, next to your bed, or on your kitchen counter can be a constant visual cue. If plain water isn't appealing, try infusing it with flavor using slices of lemon, cucumber, or berries. This can make it more enjoyable and encourage you to drink more. Remember that many foods are also excellent sources of hydration. Incorporate water-rich fruits and vegetables into your diet, like watermelon, oranges, grapes, lettuce, and cucumbers. Even soups can contribute to your daily fluid intake. Pay attention to the color of your urine. Ideally, it should be a pale yellow. If it's dark, you're likely not drinking enough. If you have any heart or kidney conditions, or if you're taking specific medications, it's always wise to consult your doctor about your fluid intake, as there might be specific recommendations for you. Staying properly hydrated is such a simple habit, yet it has profound effects on everything from your energy levels to your balance and cognitive clarity. It's an easy win for your overall well-being. Now, speaking of things we put into our bodies, let's talk about something many of us do without a second thought: taking medications, even the ones you can buy right off the shelf, without regularly checking in with a professional. This brings us to our third common thing that can suddenly become dangerous after 65, a lack of regular review of all your medications. You've probably taken that same pain reliever for years, right? Or perhaps a sleeping aid you've relied on for occasional sleepless nights, or a vitamin supplement your friend recommended that made them feel great. What seems harmless because you've used it for so long, or because it's easily available without a prescription, can suddenly become problematic. The reason lies in how our bodies change. As we age, our metabolism slows down. Our liver and kidneys, which are responsible for processing and eliminating medications from our bodies, might not work as efficiently as they once did. This means that drugs can stay in our system longer or build up to higher concentrations, making us more sensitive to their effects and increasing the risk of adverse reactions. The biggest danger often comes from polypharmacy, the term for taking multiple medications, which is very common after 65. What happens when you're also on a new blood pressure medication or a statin, and then you add that over-the-counter allergy pill or a seemingly innocent herbal supplement suddenly? That pain reliever you've always used could cause unexpected dizziness, or the combination of drugs could lead to internal bleeding, or even affect your heart rhythm. I heard a story about a gentleman who suddenly started having bouts of confusion and extreme fatigue. After numerous tests, it was discovered that a new blood pressure medication, combined with a seemingly harmless antacid he took every day, was creating a dangerous interaction that his body, at 72, simply couldn't handle the way it would have in his 40s. The problem wasn't the individual medications themselves, but the silent, unseen conversation they were having inside his body. So, how can you protect yourself? The most important step is to keep an up-to-date, comprehensive list of all medications you take. And when I say all, I mean everything: prescription drugs, over-the-counter medicines like pain relievers, cold remedies, even eye drops, all your vitamins, minerals, and any herbal supplements. Carry this list with you and review it regularly with your doctor or pharmacist. Make it a point to go through this list at least once a year, or every time a new medication is prescribed. Ask about potential interactions, side effects, and if the dosage is still appropriate for you now. Don't be afraid to ask questions, even if they seem basic. It's your health at stake. Never share medications, and never take something prescribed for someone else, even if they have similar symptoms. Always read labels carefully, paying close attention to dosage instructions, especially if there are different recommendations for older adults. Be wary of new supplements advertised with bold claims. Always research them thoroughly and discuss them with your doctor before adding them to your regimen. And if you experience any new or unusual symptoms, even mild ones like a little more fatigue or a strange headache, report them to your doctor. It could be a side effect or an interaction you haven't considered. Understanding how our bodies handle medicines differently is crucial. It's about being an active participant in your own care, and it's a simple yet powerful way to safeguard your health and well-being. And speaking of how our bodies respond, let's shift our focus to something many of us think we're doing right, but which, after 65, might be approached in a way that's actually putting us at risk: our approach to exercise. We all know exercise is good for us. We've heard it our whole lives: move your body, stay active. But what if the way we think about exercise, or how much we push ourselves, suddenly becomes a danger rather than a benefit after 65? This is our fourth common thing that can become surprisingly dangerous. Thinking exercise always means strenuous workouts, or pushing yourself too hard without adjusting for how your body has changed. In our younger years, we might have been able to jump into a new high-impact aerobics class, or start running long distances with minimal preparation. Our bodies were incredibly resilient, quick to recover, and seemingly impervious to injury. But as we age, our body's recovery rate changes significantly. Our joints have seen more wear and tear. Our muscles might not be as elastic. And our bones, as we discussed, can be more susceptible to stress fractures. The danger isn't exercise itself. It's the type and intensity of exercise, often carried over from younger years, or started without proper guidance, that can suddenly lead to injuries that are much harder to recover from. Imagine someone who was a dedicated runner their whole life, still trying to hit those pavement miles with the same intensity they did in their 40s. Or perhaps someone who decides to start a new, vigorous online fitness class because they heard it was good for them. without realizing the potential for strain on their knees, hips, or back. Suddenly, those knees ache for days. Their back seizes up, or they find themselves constantly tired and depleted instead of energized. What was once invigorating can become destructive, leading to chronic pain, prolonged injury, and an overall reduction in mobility, which is the exact opposite of what we want. The key here is to listen to your body with newfound respect. Pain is a signal, not a challenge to overcome. Instead of focusing on pushing limits, shift your focus to functional fitness exercises that help you with daily tasks, like standing up from a chair easily, lifting groceries, or reaching for something on a high shelf. Low-impact options become your best friends. Walking is fantastic and truly underrated. Swimming or water aerobics provide excellent full-body workouts without putting stress on your joints. Cycling, whether on a stationary bike or a gentle outdoor ride, is another great low-impact choice. Yoga and Tai Chi are phenomenal for improving balance, flexibility, and strength, all while fostering a sense of calm. When it comes to strength training, which is incredibly important for maintaining muscle mass and bone density, focus on proper form rather than heavy weights. Start light, use resistance bands, or even just your own body weight. Think about controlled movements. Maintaining balance and flexibility is more crucial now than ever. Simple stretches and balance exercises, like standing on one leg or heel-to-toe walking, can make a huge difference in preventing falls and keeping you mobile. Always include a thorough warm-up before you start any activity and a gentle cool-down afterward. Your muscles and joints need more time to prepare and recover now. If you're unsure where to start, or if you have specific health concerns, consider consulting a physical therapist or a certified personal trainer who specializes in working with older adults. They can help you design a safe and effective routine tailored just for you. Remember, consistency with gentle, appropriate exercise is far more beneficial than sporadic, intense bursts that could lead to injury. This shift in mindset from no pain, no gain to smart movement, real gain can transform your physical well-being. Now, for our fifth and final point, and it's one that often goes unaddressed because it feels less physical than the others. But its impact on your health is profound, brushing off feelings of loneliness or a sense of lacking purpose. This is our fifth common thing that can suddenly become dangerous after 65. It's often dismissed as just getting old, part of retirement, or I prefer my quiet time now. And while quiet time is absolutely valuable, prolonged social isolation and a diminished sense of purpose can silently snowball into significant health risks. We're talking about more than just feeling a bit down. Research has shown that chronic loneliness is linked to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, depression, a weakened immune system, and even premature death. It can suddenly become dangerous when it leads to a withdrawal from life. Neglecting self-care. A decline in cognitive function because the brain isn't stimulated by new conversations and experiences. Or even neglecting medical appointments simply because there's no longer a strong motivation to maintain one's health. Perhaps you've lost loved ones, or your social circle has naturally dwindled as friends move or become less active. Retirement, while often eagerly anticipated, can mean losing the daily structure, camaraderie, and social interaction that a job provided. It's easy to tell yourself, I'm fine. I enjoy my solitude. And for short periods. That might be true. But if that quiet time turns into prolonged isolation, that feeling of being disconnected or not having a compelling reason to get up and engage with the world in the morning, that's where the real, insidious danger lies. It's like a slow leak that drains your vitality without you even noticing until suddenly, you feel profoundly empty. The good news is that combating loneliness and finding renewed purpose is entirely within your control. And it's incredibly rewarding. It starts with making a conscious effort to stay connected. Regular phone calls, video chats, or even handwritten letters with family and friends can bridge distances and maintain bonds beyond your existing network. Consider joining a new group or club that aligns with your interests. Book clubs, gardening groups, volunteer organizations, senior centers, or community classes. Whether it's learning a new language or how to paint, offer wonderful opportunities to meet new people and forge meaningful connections. Volunteering, in particular, provides a double benefit. It gives you a renewed sense of purpose by contributing to something larger than yourself. And it naturally creates opportunities for social interaction. Many people have found profound joy and energy in volunteering for causes they care deeply about. Don't be afraid to embrace new technology. Learning how to use video calls or social media can open up entire new worlds of connection, allowing you to connect with distant relatives or join online communities focused on shared hobbies. If appropriate and desired, pet ownership can offer immense companionship and a wonderful sense of purpose, providing a reason to get out for walks and interact with other pet owners. And if feelings of loneliness or sadness persist, leading to a profound sense of hopelessness, please reach out for professional help. There are many resources and people who care and can provide support. Finding new ways to engage, to learn, and to contribute to the world around you can reignite your spark and profoundly impact your physical and mental health. We've talked about how ignoring even small falls, overlooking your hydration needs, not regularly reviewing your medications, approaching exercise incorrectly, and dismissing the profound impact of loneliness can suddenly turn into significant dangers as we get older. But here's the beautiful truth. Awareness is power. None of these are insurmountable. In fact, just by being aware, by watching this video and considering these points, you're already taking the most crucial step towards safeguarding your well-being. These are not inevitable declines. They are areas where small, thoughtful adjustments, made with intention and self-compassion, can make a world of difference to your health, your happiness, and your continued independence. What resonated most with you today? What's one small change you feel ready to make? Perhaps starting tomorrow. I'd absolutely love to hear your thoughts, your own experiences, or any tips you might have for our community in the comments below. Your insights and wisdom could help so many others. And if you found this conversation helpful, if it sparked something in you, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who could benefit from this important information. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more practical advice and inspiring conversations designed to help you thrive at every age. Remember, turning 65 isn't an ending. It's a new chapter, rich with possibilities, wisdom, and continued growth. It's about living with even greater intention, embracing new ways of being, and prioritizing what truly supports your best life. Embrace these insights, make these thoughtful adjustments, and continue to live your best, most vibrant life. Today and every single day, you truly deserve it.